Hello everyone, Bridget Casey with Bridget Casey Designs here today for ScrapbookPal.com. Today we're going to have a play with two new products from Tim Holtz, the Artsy Leaves and the Cracked 3D Texture Fades Embossing Folder. We'll have a closer look right here. So here is the envelope that you will get, and I love that there is a storage envelope. The dies come in this little baggie so they don't get lost, which is nice as well, so they don't fall out when you open the envelope. And then you also get the 3D Texture Fades Cracked A6 Embossing Folder that we're going to play with today. So exciting. Absolutely have so many ideas for this. And we also are going to use the sentiment from the Lawn Fawn All the Party hats. We are going to use a rainbow of Distress Oxide Inks today in Picked Raspberry, Salty Ocean, Villainous Potion, Carved Pumpkin, Lucky Clover, Lumberjack Plaid, Squeezed Lemonade, Hickory Smoke, and the Versifine Nocturne for our sentiment. So I'm beginning by adding a rainbow of all those colors down my little watercolor palette I have. If you don't have a watercolor palette, you could use one of your die cutting plates. You can use stamp packaging, so many options. I'm using a paper towel to try to keep my hands from getting very colorful. So I want the color to stay on my project, not on me, so to speak. So I put the ink down, I spray it with water, I smush the paper, I dry the paper, and then I have another look and I'm like, what is missing from this? What do I need to add here? So that's where I'm at here. I needed some orange and blue. So I got some orange, some blue, then some green. So I wanted orange and pink together. And then I got that beautiful golden color. So that's, I think, the most fun thing about all of this is just have a play. Get some colors out that you like and start smushing them together. And if you make brown, that's okay. It's all right. You can just put another color over it, another color next to it, so many options. But I think this project, really, I want to inspire you to have some fun. Just take a moment, relax, put on your favorite podcast or your favorite TV show, and just have a craft, have a go, and have a play. Because there's nothing more fun than, ink smushing and getting some water and having a good old time, getting some beautiful backgrounds as we have there. It did hurt my soul a little bit to cut these. I'm not going to lie to you. So now I'm basically laying out my dies to see what I have, who kind of pairs with what, so to speak. You don't have to pair them together, and I don't on some of them. So keep that in mind as well. If you want to pair the little circles together with the tall cutout, go for it. That's the fun in this, is you decide. You are given the dies and just can't wait to see what you create there. So I am finalizing where I think all of these dies go. Again, it doesn't really matter in the long run. It's wherever you think they go. But I did want to have them kind of matched up just so I could kind of see what was going on. I like to have an idea of what's going on, even though sometimes I don't. So now after I did all that work, I thought as I was moving them, the thought going through my head at this moment is, oh, shoot, I should have taken a picture, but that's okay. So I'm just throwing all of the base dies, essentially, which they'd be on the bottom. I'm throwing those to be die cut on the panel. Now I'm taking Hickory Smoke and I'm rubbing it all over my background with a life-changing blending brush. Now we're going to do the sentiment, and I apologize. I do go off screen for most of this. I tried to line it up, and my, midlife eyeballs struggle. So here you can see on this panel, I just had it down in the bottom corner because my watercolor panel is 4.5 by 6.25. So I'm going to trim that off anyways. So I might as well use the 3D embossing folder that's on there, and I may as well use the texture, and I can just line it up and chop it off, and that way I don't waste paper. So as you can see, it worked out perfectly to do that. So very excited that I thought of that, because some days it doesn't work out that way. So it worked out really well. So we have our two background panels and we have all of our stuff cut. I even cut the top layers from some glitter cardstock, and I'm getting out the little bits and bobs that don't necessarily have to be in there. You can leave them in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start putting them on the base pieces. So right now I'm not thinking about a layout. I'm just going ahead and I'm getting these pieces put down. I do have some double-sided adhesive on the gold gilded cardstock. So it makes it super easy because those are, as I call them, fiddly bits. They're smaller. So I love having that double-sided adhesive so I don't have to fight with glue. It just, I push it down and there it lives. So very exciting. So we've got all those put together. We've got our two panels and our sentiments. Here I'm showing you, you can just use the base die cuts and arrange something. I'd put my sentiment right there and that would be my card. So you actually get 3 card ideas today, but we're going to work on this one here. Now this is just a piece of watercolor cardstock ran through the cracked 3D Texture Fades embossing folder. I have done nothing to it. I'm just going to add on top my beautiful artsy leaves that I have cut and layered with that gorgeous gilded cardstock. Anything shiny, like I'm like a squirrel if I see something shiny. So, and I'm just putting foam on the back of most of these to make sure that when I want to use them, they're ready to go. I like to be able to have all of my pieces ready to go so that if I pull for it when I'm designing, I don't have to stop and get adhesive. I do like to try to do that so that I can just embrace the moment that I'm planning my work, if that makes sense. And I don't have to pause in the middle of my idea to put foam or to put adhesive. So just an idea for you. I do generally like to work in steps, and I think that's kind of part of it there. So we're going to go ahead and put this final one. We will in a minute put our happy birthday, but so then I realized I put one down and I'm like, I got to make sure I have room for my sentiment. So I lined up my sentiment with the top corner of the card where I wanted to trim it, lined it up and trimmed it off with my scissors. That way I know I have a straight edge because I know the edge of my card is straight. So then I will put this as best as possible in the center of the card. And I did use my little alignment mat there. So now I'm laying out where I want my leaves. I'm trying to make sure I don't have like too many of the base of the leaves like together. I want to make sure I have tops and bottoms mixed and matched, not just a bunch of the bottom of the stem leaf, whatever we're calling it today, gathered together. So I'm kind of trying to mix and match them and rotate the orientation of the shape, if that explains it better than I previously did, which I think it does. So as you can see, I'm just flipping and flopping the images around until I see how I like it. And there's that card. This card, I wanted to keep very super simple. I loved the shading. I love this card. I can't pick a favorite out of the two, but I do love this card. It's when you make a card and you're like, yeah, I'm in love. And this was that for me. I'm like, yep, I'm in love. And then I wanted to put my happy birthday someplace else because I put it in the center on the other one. And so I'm going to use 3 of the leftover leaves for my other project. And I was just kind of picking and choosing and seeing what went well together. And that's the one I really loved. So I'm putting these together. So nice, simple card. If you make a bunch of these, you could make a bunch of these birthday cards. And here are our 2 projects. So thank you for watching. Head on over to our ScrapbookPal.com YouTube channel, like and subscribe, and we'll see you very soon in another video. Happy crafting!